Hey guys, welcome to another week from Know About Trades. Hope you guys had a great weekend. So let's get straight into business. Yeah. So this week we're not going to be doing much because last week we had most of our swing trades executed and they're running a profit. So what we're simply going to do this week is we're going to take Euro USD, which is what we're going to be looking at. We obviously didn't give the Euro USD trade breakdown on the free group. You know what I mean? So this week, last week we went into Euro USD, and this week we want to make the analysis, show you guys the progress so far, and potential point of new entries for people that want to join on. Okay, so but before we do that, we need to look back and review some of our trades. We did that over the weekend webinar, so this is just for people who couldn't catch up with the webinar. So we have GBP USD. You can see from my point of entry last week, price went to zero down drawn, and so far it went as much as 220 pips, and right now it's around 157 pips. Another trade we entered last week was USD CHF. So far, trade running on risk free. We got in at this point. Prices trading about 50 pips in profit. Another one we entered last week was USD CAD. Price went as much as 100, and this was a point of entry. It went as 172 pips, and he eat us out on 90 pips, about 90 plus pips surplus, and we're seeing a new entry for this week. So this setup is still valid. We're looking forward to ride it to this point from this level. So this is a very good setup for us, writing it down. But this week we're going to be focused on Euro USD. We've been on this trade since last week, and we're so much deep in profit, but we want to be able to. It's a very interesting trade. You can see we got in right on this level, and you can see prices move so far about 100 plus pips. So what we're looking out to do this week is, because this is a very interesting pair as regards the euro and the USD. So much fundamentals going on in the USD with the stimulus injection into the US market and everything, into the US economy, and everything. So it's a very beautiful trade for us to look at, and we've been riding it so far in profit. So let's take the setup off. Let's look at what we saw, and let's make sense with it within the next few minutes. Okay, so right now we're going to take all of this off. We're going to take all of this off, and we're going to move back to the bigger time frame, the higher time frame. So without wasting much of time, let's look at what we're looking at on this pair. So what do we see? As usual, we have the upward mid-range zone. Okay, let me remove this so that we can see everything properly. Okay, so this is trade the pure price action on Euro USD. You can see price going lower, high, lower, high, lower, high start. So for us to understand this pair, the first thing we need to do is to identify the three zones. So we have this upward, we have all of the zone in game. We have this upward low, mid-range and the lower zone. So what does it mean? Price may be approaching this mid-range zone for a further push at this point, looking at the bigger picture, right? So the first thing we want to do is to break things down, right? So what does this mean? What does the blue zone give us? Give us the fact that when price picked up on this level and buyers injection going to the market, it broke this, it found more buyers injection right on this level, and price is moving, to this level. So apparently we could be having price, making us push down to this level. And if it breaks it, we're definitely looking for further push, down to this level. And obviously we know something for sure, that the face of bullish injection that going to the market going at this point in time. So what do we have now? Let's go to the weekly time frame without wasting more time. So on the weekly time frame, you can see that when price broke this key level, right, you can see the price came to give us a double exhaustion, right? If you're familiar with the no-bat trade, you're gonna know what we call double exhaustion. And if you're not been traded with the no-bat trade, double exhaustion is just an area of double pressure where the either bulls or bears get to the market to push the price, to the desired target aggressively, right? So if you don't understand, if you want to connect on that deeply, you can contact us in Nova Trading, join the team, and you could get started on your advanced forex trading journey. So double pressure right now, and we expect the further push, to this level, right? But we know something for sure, right? Price can't just keep moving impulsively like that. There has to be a point whereby there is a rest phase for the bulls, right? So what did we see within the last couple weeks, right? We could see there was an exhaustion. you could see the market made this price to the upside, and we saw this total rest phase on prices, right? So seeing this total rest phase on prices, what do we expect, right? We expect the price at some point should find the more bullish injection into the market, so that we could take price further to the upside and all of that. So that's exactly what we want to look at now. So what do we know? We know something for sure, right? That after price broke this key level, so let's map out this key level, right? Let's map out this key level. So we know for sure that after price broke this key level, you can see the key level right here. Second. Very good. So you can see the key level right here. So we know that when price broke this key level, right, price was actually posed for a very strong buy to the upside, right? A very strong buy to the upside. So what happened after price broke the key level? You can see it. Price made a very strong buy to the upside. So at this level, right, price gave us the rejection, right? So what could give us this rejection? What is the reasons? In the first market, we call it the law of cause and effect, right? To every effect to say in the market, there has to be a cause. So what is the cause, right? That means price, people or buyers are taking profits right at the 161.8 extension, technically, right? So you can see the reaction. The first take profit going to the market, the bulls try to push it, then the second take profit, and you can say sharp fall. So right now for last week, we noticed something really interesting. And what is interesting about this is that the bulls are now getting into the market, right? And this is way more clearer on the lower time frame, right? So now that we have this again, so what do we look? Let's map out and pay attention to the details on the weekly time frame. So you can see that after price broke out of this level, it found a rest phase somewhere around this level, and much more bias injection came in right on this level, right on this particular level, right? You can see that right here. So now the price is done that. Let's map out that area out. So what do we have in this area? You can see right here, the price right now came back to this area last week, and right now you can see the potential buyers injection into the market right on this level, right? So now we're having a potential injection of buyers orders right into the market, and we expect that for the next couple of weeks this is going to push price back to the upside and all of that. So now that we make sense with this, so let's take them off, and let's take this off. Let's take this off and let's go to the daily time frame without wasting more time. So on the daily time frame, what do we see? You can see the areas of the buyers injection to the market. So what do we want to do on the daily time frame? What we want to do on the daily time frame is pretty simple. We want to be able to break down, the information right on this level out, so that we can know if this information, the old information, sorry. So we want to know if the old information right on this level, right, is enough for us, to understand if the bulls have started the upside pressure, or it's just like a fake move, right? So now we have the basic so let's make it bigger, right? So right now we have first this low right here. First we have this low right here, right? You can see the low, right here, right? Then we have the mid-range zone, right? So you remember, if you're not in number trade, I expect you guys to ask questions right after watching this video. You can send it in the comments, contact us directly to further understand what the main range zones are, right? The main range zone, right, is the point of sensitivity, right? You can say the sell sensitivity turn buy sensitivity. You can say the buy sensitivity got broken turn sensitivity, and prices reacted right on this level. And we have the upper zone, of course. So now that we have this upper zone, let's identify it out. So what have we simply done? We've simply broken these zones. We have simply broken the information, the old information the price is given, right? The old information the price is given, all of this level, we have broken it down to different zones, right? So now this is beginning to make sense for us. So what does it mean? That you can see on the weekly time frame, we made mention of the fact that after price broke this key level, you can see the more bias injection came in, and so far so good, right? For the past couple of weeks, price made the sell back to this level, and we have a new phase of buyers coming into the market. So what does it mean? Could it mean that these buyers are going to push the price to the upside, or this is just a fake move and price is going to come to the downside? We don't know that for sure. So we're going to take it to the lower time frame, right? In as much as we're in this trade, right, we still want to make it clear enough for you guys to, you know, understand what is actually going on. So let's take it to the lower time frame, right? Let's take it to the lower time frame. So let's go to the 4 hours time frame. So on the 4 hours time frame, what do we have right here? On the 4 hours time frame, what do we have right here? Let's make this a little bit smaller so we can get the full picture and we know the zones that we're actually trading in. So we have this level right here. We have this. So very good. Very good. Yeah, very good. So we have those zones right here. So let's expand it and amplify it and, you know, get to understand what is going on here better more. So what do we have right here? We have those zones right here. So let's make sense with it. Put it on the line chart to understand the zone properly, right? So we have the mean range zone. You can see sell sensitivity, turn buy sensitivity, turn a little bit buy sensitivity, broke, turn a sell sensitivity, and prices like trading on that level right now. You can see these are buy sensitivity and these are sell sensitivity, right? So that makes a lot of sense for us, right? So, but now let's look at what price has done so far, right? Let's look at what price has done so far. So we know something for sure. Let's go back to the time frame. The price is actually trading on what? On a higher highs and higher lows. So what does it mean? It's trading on an uptrend, right? So making sense with that, let's come back to the smaller time frame, right? Let's go back to the smaller time frame. So we have this, of course. Let's make it make sense more. You know, when you're drawing your trend line, you have to be on point, right? So you don't want to get the wrong information, right? So now we have this again, right? Initially, you know, we're looking at a situation where price is gonna come, you know, eat this level and probably, you know, find a support, right? So first off, we're gonna give you the reason why we're going to the market, and then next we're gonna give, for people that want to get in on the new entries, we're gonna give you guys the areas of new entries, okay? We're gonna give you guys area of new entries. Sorry, let me make this a little bit smaller so it's not gonna confuse this. Very good. So now we have the first injection into the markets, you know, to pushing the price, you know, higher right on this level, right? So when price got to this level, we saw this zone as a very strong, you know, areas of buyers injection into the market, right? Because of course, price is on a parity level, right? Price is finding a common support right on this level, and price is moving, right? So now what led to the break to the push the downside, right? So what led to push the downside is because, you know, of course, after price found the support right here, you can see the trend line and you can see the break of the trend line, break of support on resistance, right? And, you know, which reacted, you know, with this zone, you can see break front support at the mid-range zone couldn't be sustained. Why? Because we have a structural change and we found a much more, you know, sell orders get into the market, you know, to put the price, you know, back to this level, right? So definitely that's really it. So now using this information we have now, what do we know? We know something for sure. The price is finding a common support right here in strong areas of buyers injection into the market. So what did we do? We saw prices moving on the lower lows. You can see the lower lows, you know, to the mid-range zone. The mid-range zone bounced the price to support, but price was on the previous, you know, support on resistance, which further pushed the price, you know, down to this level, meaning that the bearish pressure exactly on this level is so strong that the main range zone couldn't hold, and, you know, we have to come to the downside, right? So making sense with that, let's bring out our trend lines, right? So we had this last week. We had this trend line last week, right, for prices. And after this trend line, we said we are going to be waiting for price to establish. If price is going to establish, we can't just get into the market just right away, right? We're waiting for certain confirmations, right? The first confirmation we're going to be waiting for is for price to establish the buyer's injection, right? To show us and indicate to us that the buyers are in. And what do we have, right? We saw the buyer push this price, you know, to the main range zone, the daily / 4 hours main range zone. Then we said we're waiting for an exhaustion for an aggressive buy to, you know, to the upside. So what do we have right here? We saw this aggressive buy to the upside, and, you know, we took our entry somewhere right around this exactly when it touched this trend line. We took a buy, right? And so far so good. Price went the most at about 100 plus, and so far so good. We're about 92 pips in profit, right? So now this was the reason why we're going to the market. So now we are in a new week, you know, so people might be looking at opportunity to, you know, get into this trade and, you know, all of that. So we want to actually show you guys a trade opportunity for people who haven't gotten in on the low, right? Because this move is still very much valid, right? And it's a very beautiful one. So after price found the support right on this level, we can see something if you pay attention to details, right? You can see the price broke this previous area of support, resistance, and turning it into support. So what can we say? What can we say? After I broke this area and turned it to support, what can we say? We know something for sure, that this support, a little bias injection are going to get into the market, and definitely we're going to have this push to this side, right? Definitely. So this push to this side could mean just one thing, right? It means the price has broken the mid-range zone. Remember, after a push above a mid-range zone, we have to find an exhaustion for further buyers entry into the market. For further buyers entry, into the market. This is in the case of a buy case scenario, yeah? And, before we set the next push. So this is exactly what is going on right here, right? So we need this push to get at this level, right? In as much as you are not joining at this level, but you can still have a very good risk reward in this particular move that's ongoing. So provided the price made this push this level, we expect an exhaustion back to the main range zone and, a further push, to the upside, right? So what do we have, right? So what are we waiting for? Very simple. We're waiting for this push to be established. We wait for the exhaustion to be established right on this level. And what do we expect? So we're definitely going to be looking for lower time frame entries. After this push, right? After this push right here, we're definitely going to get a lower time frame, exhaustion, exhaustive move, lower fractals, something like this. Really small move, probably on the 30 minutes or on the 15 minutes time frame. That's definitely going to be our entry time frame, right? So we're definitely going to have something like this, and we're definitely going to have like a double exhaustion, right on this level. Double exhaustion is also known as double pressure. But in this case, the buyers entry are going to get into the market, and definitely we're going to be looking at, to get into the market right on this level, somewhere around this level, and we could actually find a very good trade right on this level. So in this trade, if we're going to be waiting for our setup, right? But before then, before we even bring the setup, the whole thing out, right? So if price finds this level and it breaks this level, automatically we could be looking to trading like a inverted head and shoulder. You can see the head, the left shoulder, the right shoulder, and all of that. So this is a very good trade. So what are we looking at now? That if we want to make our trade make sense. So what are we looking at? So we're going to be looking at a trade of this level. Let me bring out. I used the M24, so you guys are going to be able to make manually, right? So we're going to be looking at a stop loss as little. We're going to be looking at a stop loss as little as this. We're going to be looking at, a profit target as high as, this to this level, So the goal is actually to, take your profit at the least resistance level where, the market is just going to eat you out or something like that, where the market is just going to log you out without stress and, everything. So of course you don't have to make the target to be like, you don't have to make the target to be like, oh, at this peak and all of that. Just get out the best place. So in this kind of case, if we find this push to this level, right, and we find this exhaustion, you just don't have to enter straight, right? You have to go to the lower time frame, to wait for a lower time frame, change the structure, which is a bullish confirmation on that price, bulls again to the market, and they probably want to inject their orders into the market right on this level. Then definitely when you see the change of structure, we could be looking at taking a trade in this level. So this is a potential trade. In as much as you didn't join the low, you can see you could have actually a very good risk reward. So what do we have right here? If you're going to be risking this trade, you could be looking at a situation of risking 22. Let's take it as much as like 30 pips, right? So we could be looking at a trade of risking about, okay, let's say 35 pips to making about 150 pips, right? So that's about 1:4.23 or something. So this is a very good trade that we're looking at this week. So remember, what the setup doesn't mean that this trade is valid, right? It's not valid until it meets confirmation. So what are the confirmation we're waiting for? We're waiting for the push to this level. which shows us that the bias exhaustions right on this level, right? You're on the face of rest. A lot of people want to take profits, at the resistance zone, right? So we're waiting for the sell orders to get into the market while the sellers flex their power a little bit. Then we're going to the lower time frame. We're going to the lower time frame to wait for lower time frame confirmation, double exhaustion, indicating that the bullish pressure of gotten into the market, right? And now at this level, we're waiting for, the buy, of course, after we find, the break of, this level, telling us that on the lower time frame, the structure, after the break, indicating the bias exertion to the market. So this is going to be our confirmation. But yeah, you got the setup already. So thank you so much. This is what we're waiting for. You can say there's a very beautiful trade by risking 35 pips to making 165, 160 to 165 pips, about roughly one ratio, 4.3 or 0.5. There's a very good risk reward ratio for this week. And thank you guys so much, and have a beautiful week. I wish you guys a very beautiful and peaceful and blue week ahead. Thank you so much.